Hey, what's going on YouTube? Final Boss here, and today I am reviewing Mr. B Mill. He's my first contestant winner of the 8 people giveaway, and after I complete every single one of these videos, then I'm going to be able to do a tournament that is going to, hopefully all these guys are going to improve a little bit, and we're able to offer some sound advice. They're going to make them a better player. So I have joined with me today as another pro hog player. We have Jordan on the call.
Hey guys, what's up?
All right. Hey, what's up, man? So, all right. So, we're going to go on ahead and get into the match, and then I'm going to kind of pause everything as we kind of see fit and, kind of review all of his plays. So we started off here the right way. He said good luck and a thumbs up. I've actually found that most people that say good luck are the people that are going to BM you. But anyway, so
Right.
not a bad move there. It starts off of the Musketeers. Sometimes you kind of wait to see what they're going to do. It looks like right here he's kind of way over committing against a witch. If that was me, I kind of would have waited, and if you put a witch there, I would have started in the other lane. A little aggressive on the log there, and he's going to go on ahead and send the Hog Rider in, which is a pretty solid move, and I sense that he kind of messed that up there, and the wizard cleaned that up. Okay, right there. I would not have started with the cannon. I would have put the musketeer right here, and I would have waited for the ice spirit. So right here he spent 5, but then he would have had here 5, and he would have been able to handle this bad boy that's coming in to do all this. So now it looks like he's ready to spend more elixir. We're going to get back into that. So he's going to have to log here to kind of keep that cane away. And he's just kind of spent way too much elixir. What do you think about that, Jordan?
Yeah, I think on the Elite Barb defense, he really needed to use the Musketeer in the middle as well as the Ice Spirit. Because even though it's 5, you're only using 1 elixir to kill the Elite Barbs because you still have that full health Musketeer on your side.
And
So-
depending upon how the E-barbs are going, sometimes if you put them over here, then it's kind of like my one video where they kind of rolling. So I would have put the Ice Spirit about, yay, or I put it here in this range, and I would have put the Musketeer right about here. So Jordan agrees with me on that part.
Right along there.
That wasn't a game change. That wasn't the reason why he's going to lose this match, though, at all. Because right now he's
right here. He went too aggressive. His opponent was at max already. So he spent 5, didn't get that much damage.
And now he's got
And now
10
he has
elixir
10
coming at him
elixir
with a
push coming
cannon.
at him.
And so he's able to. That was a decent ice golem there. I would not have logged that right there.
Yeah, that doesn't do much damage to the witch. Kind of gives away 2 elixir, and you'll need that log for the graveyard in a second.
Okay, and this was another key move. It looks like you're just kind of over defending a little bit, like a little crazy on the hogs. But look, you just lost a musketeer. Sometimes you just gotta eat some damage whenever you make a mistake, and just kind of a witch and a little bit of skeletons is not going to take down your tower. And you could still even this up with a hog, or you could rock it here if he's going to put a witch, or an ice wizard over here if he's going to continue to push a three crown win here. So definitely over defending a lot there, and some logs are super aggressive. So the meta's changed right now, so definitely going to need to change out your log for the zap. Unfortunately, this is probably one of the worst decisions I've ever seen Supercell make. I know you guys have seen me rant on Twitter about that. So I agree with that rocket right there, going ahead and take that, able to get some good value with the wizard. So right there, dude, right there, you don't need to go on ahead. You're not trying to win the game in a single push, and you just spent a million elixir. You just spent 8 elixir there on a push. Now you're gonna have to deal with elite barbarians, and we're sitting here looking at 6 versus 4. So not a good move. It looks like he was actually thinking about doing a 3 crown push until he actually was a little aggressive here. So if not, he would have been able to deal that. So that's not too bad of a rocket. Still nothing yet to that. You're still in the ball game. You're actually winning right now. Did not need to log that as well. Super aggressive on the logs, and you could have chilled out a little bit there and kind of waited to get the hog rocket combination going on. So now you have the elite barbarians, and you put down a cannon as the elite barbarians are coming. So this looks like a frequent problem that you're actually having, is using your cannon as your main defense, especially against elite barbarians. You need to learn how to use some of these other little characters over here that you can kind of put over here in this range, right, and put your musketeer to kind of handle it. Now, since this giant was coming, if you would have waited a hot minute, you could have put the cannon over here to have actually drawn the giant away, and then you could have put your musketeer over here, or in this kind of area right here, to have been able to deal the damage. Really, this is your major concern right now. A cannon on a giant would have been fine over here, because then you could have thrown some elixir skeletons, make them use a zap, etc., and we've gotten them away from all this business. But right now you've gotten everything in one area, and that is kind of the key to the ingredients here. So a little over pursuit on defense, something that's easily to clean up. This looks like that doesn't look like the game quite yet. So that was not a bad log. He wanted to get the wizard off there. They couldn't roll that back if he was going to die or not, but I understand that log. So you're already down in elixir right there. You got to kind of realize sometimes when you've kind of been beat already. And so yet again, cannon. This cannon should have been over here, and musketeer should not be in where all of your troops are, because this right here, these are all fragile units that are going to just completely get demolished by a tank and elite barbarians. So this is where you're going to lose the ball game. I haven't seen the ending of it, so I understand the log there, but it was just a little too late, and a few mistakes. So really, it was the cannon and the logs in this game, and just a little too much aggression, and got to be a little bit more aware of what the situation is. So if you want to key in on that as well, Jordan.
You really want to bring the fight to your side, kind of play it slow, use the musketeer in the back, let the towers help out with you gaining an elixir advantage, and then you can use that elixir advantage for hog pushes, and you won't have to fight elite barbs or the ice wizard every time, and you can really get some good hog damage. So right here, this is kind of bad situation, but that's an okay hog push there. Tornado was a good
the opponent was a little
defense
slow on dropping those archers, so he probably actually gained about 2 elixir right there. So I could understand that push, but he didn't get much out of it. Okay, it looks like he switched back to zap, so this is going to be his downfall here, especially against the goblin barrel, because you're going to have to get kind of a little tricky with that.
Mm-hmm.
So yet again, we're dealing with a wizard. So I don't know if this is a common thing in this area of play, but it's just not really used in this game. Our boy loves the rocket, the witch. I'm at the wizard.
Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of a wasted zap there.
For sure.
You can use the 1 elixir skeleton to clean up that archer.
We're not going to sit here and beat him up. That was an excellent play right there. I do this a lot, whenever I don't have something to deal with, the goblin barrel. So to put it's always in the same area. So, you put your 1 little elixir skeletons, ice spirit, whatever you got, and an ice golem. And, even with the nerf and the update, I still think these are still some of the best cards in the game still. Ice Spirit still has its place and purpose. And the only thing that was huge in this update is the zap getting nerfed. I just can't believe it. They're really trying to end it. But I'll tell you what, even in the higher plays, you hear people talking that, Hog is dead and everything else. It might be a little bit different up top versus everything else. So you got a big push coming in here. That's a decent cannon placement. Not going to be able to do anything with that against the tornado. That's well played on his part. That was actually really, really well played on his part. Great surrounding on the 1 elixir skeletons, and his archers can clean up. So I would have probably, when I see those archers coming in, I probably would have put them a little bit further back than kind of putting them aggressively right here. I'm assuming there's a hog going on here. That's excellent. That didn't look like that was exactly a pig push, but that's fine. This guy doesn't have any kind of defensive towers whatsoever. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So Ice Golem's going to fizzle out here. He's kind of got a lot of business. Man, I can't believe those goblins don't die to zap. That's just crazy. All right. He's still in the game here.
Yeah, he's doing well to keep himself in.
Is this going to be the end? That's the end? No, he's still alive. He's got one big push here. He's going to probably get tornadoed. that ice spirit. All right, you got a hit in. That was not much he was going to be able to do here. All right, so definitely need to incorporate back the log into your deck. If you had a fireball or something like that, probably be a little bit better for you. Poor guy, Zap's not going to end that, and that's going to be the game. No, he's still in it. But he did use his NATO, so it looks like he's going to have a chance to maybe do a hog rocket. Hopefully he's... Yep, that's a good play right there. Did not get the wizard. Still.
He's just a rocket away, though, so if he can hold this off,
yeah,
he can win it.
Well, I told him to send me our losses, so yeah, that's it. I would rocket those goblins. Oh, man, that was close. Yeah, if he had a log in there, I actually believe he would have won that game. That was actually pretty well played. There was less mistakes in this one than there was in the previous video.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing is just the log. You'll need it against the goblins.
For sure. All right. So he's playing against a Royal Giant Sparky Graveyard Hog deck. Is that what he just said? Oh my god. These random decks, man. You know, if people aren't using Zap, then that might be an answer. But if you're playing against all these people who are using bait decks and Skarmy and stuff, I mean, Sparky's still easily countered.
Mm-hmm.
Sparknado though. But Sparknado though. Okay. What do you think about that Cannon right there?
So, usually what I try and do when there's just barbs coming...
That's just all kinds of bad right there. It looks like he switched back to the log though.
Yeah, that's good. I use the Musketeer, really, to deal with barbs.
That's what I use.
Or save the cannon for a hog or something.
Yeah, you don't know what his whole deck is, so you don't really want to waste that, and especially with these two things coming up, you know, you really want to save your hog, your cannon for like what you're saying. So yeah, I'd always put down the Musketeer for the barbs, and as you can see that he kind of got wailed on right here by that, but he didn't lose too much, especially against the graveyard. I know he's... Come on, get that rocket. Rocket. No. Watch him put barbs down here. Is he going to get some good value?
Yeah. A little early. But...
Wait, oh god, his rocket doesn't kill a level 2 Sparky. But Ice Spirit does. Look at that Royal Giant. He's all... I'd be laughing too. Alright. So this guy's just being super aggressive. Actually, he's not being aggressive because he had almost had a ton of elixir.
Yeah, he gained a huge elixir advantage on the graveyard early on.
Yeah. So
now he can just spend 10 elixir to defend.
So I guess just realizing that, you know, when you're down, you're down. You know, just you need to come back and get your elixir game back. I don't ever count elixir, but you know, you just kind of know, you know, like okay, like he put down this, that, and the other, and I have this feeling that I overspent way too much on a defense. So I know I'm going to try to get back to 10 elixir, and if I'm seeing him dropping troops, that's not essentially there. And he's just going to ignore a Royal Giant.
Ooh. It's kind of...
Yeah, I think he gave up a little too fast. Alright, yeah. I never give up in battles. I mean, I guess I do every once in a while, but it's very rare I ever really give up in them.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some great comebacks. Yeah, you just overspent elixir, and you just kind of needed to chill out and play more defense there. Then you need to go on to offense. So you're playing way too aggressive on that as well. So some of the cannon placements is huge. Huge. Anything else you can kind of take away on that one, Jordan?
Yeah, I was thinking where you're saying the aggressiveness is just a little bit too much for this deck. You have all 4 minutes to take one tower and win, so it's better to just play defense first and focus on gaining elixir, and then you can use that to have good attacks.
You went back to my old deck. I love this deck.
I think the guy on the bottom is using your deck.
Oh.
Our guy's up top.
Oh, I was like looking down. I was like, I know this one well.
Mhm.
That's weird how the replay switched around. So you actually played this one nice and smooth. All right, he put the hog down. Ice golem going in.
So he put in archers for the skeletons to deal with the graveyard, which is a good option.
Yeah, there's never ever like one best option, you guys. You know, there's just never it. So he squeezed in a cannon. What would you have done in that situation right there? What could you have done better? Because I mean, it looked like I wish I could roll the tape back a little bit.
Kind of went fast, yeah.
It went really too fast. I could go on ahead and stop this one and go back to see.
Go back to
because he's taking heaps of damage there. So he's playing against Super Hot Fire. Kind of like that name, Super Hot Fire. It got euros behind it. All right, so we're gonna go. Right. We're gonna get past that first push. Well defended. Sometimes you're just gonna have to take some damage. All right. Ooh. I missed.
So I think he was just a little slow on getting his cards cycled, so he could get the cannon back, and he was forced to put the cannon right on the hog and archers.
I'm gonna get this the second time. I'm gonna get this the second time right. We need a rollback feature here. All right, so he's gonna defend. Okay, we're gonna slow it down so we're not gonna miss it here.
So he's only one card away from cannon, which when you see the hog go down like that, you just gotta react quick and
you gotta know what you're dealing with because you've already dealt with these cards here. So he was just really slow. He was just slow there to react exactly. With that, I would have probably put the Ice Spirit up here when I see that whole push coming, especially with these being almost dead and not having your log and cycle or zap or anything like that. So he's going to take some solid amount of defense there, and he knows what he's up against. Don't give up, man. You know, you can always recover because people always make mistakes. You know, just because someone plays something well in the very beginning or you get outmatched doesn't mean that the game's over. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that move a little bit. So I that's a move I do frequently, especially when I'm taking a lot of damage on one tower. So sometimes if you can get them pushing on another side, then you're able to do that. Yet again, I don't like this variation of the deck that you were using, and I understand what you're using and why you're doing it, but I would have put in minions if you're going to go this route. But I know that your minions, your minions are level 10, and I think your archers are level 9. So I definitely go with the if you're going to do a variation like this, go with the minions over that. Mm-hmm. So at that point, I would not have put a cannon down. You're just kind of overreacting a little bit, and kind of sometimes you just gotta lose a tower whenever you know that you're down and you got to get caught up. I know that's some issues there. Obviously, you know that you missed the ice golem there, but that's not why you're doing this. So you're actually able to catch up, but you were spending too much elixir over here, especially when you're already down. I'm glad that you hit that. That was actually a good cannon pull, even though this is going on over here. But like I said, sometimes you just gotta just forget about this, lose this tower, just so you can go on ahead and focus and get caught back up and level the playing field. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think at this point, I think he needs too many rockets he needs probably two logs and two rockets. But yeah, I mean, You made some mistakes on just slow reaction times. We all make mistakes on that. But like I said, sometimes you got to realize that just whenever you've lost a tower, like I said, I think that's the biggest thing that I can pull from this loss. What would you have to say from kind of a recap on this match?
Yeah, I think it was just a little slow reaction time, which happens to all of us. But I think that's just where it got him, and it made him overcommit on defense. So he just kind of got really behind on that one play.
So if you know he has Fireball, there's 300 on there, and he's sitting in a big push going on in there, are you just going to ignore that and just kind of go for the other one? It's kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
It's really kind of hard to do just to say, hey, you know, that I'm just going to give up on that tower and just let him have it, you know?
Yeah, they're probably not going to 3-crown you that easy. So if they're spending the hog and archers, which is 7, you can just go right on the other side and try and tower trade with them, even though your tower is really weak and there's still a lot more health, because you can afford the damage on your king tower, which is, I think, something that can help you come back in a game.
A lot of people forget, and I've seen that too when when you're like the earlier with the giant one, you could have put the cannon over here to pull the giant, so you could have done some of those things in here and everything else. But you know what? You don't need to overreact or quit the game just because you made one mistake. You're not playing against like the best player in the world that just loses everything again. So I mean, never makes a mistake, because we all make mistake, and sometimes you can capitalize theirs and they make bigger than yours. So yet again, you're sitting here countering with the cannon. You got to stop that. You can't do that. Because now you're doing that. But if you would have put them the musketeer over here, ice spirit, like we were saying, so you're making some common mistakes that are going to be easy to clean these up, and definitely going to be able to improve your game with your card levels as a level 7 hog. You should be, I mean, if you can clean some of these things up, you're definitely going to see an increase in your trophies go up for sure. But we don't beat yourself up if you make a mistake, because we all make mistakes all the time. All right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So musket coming in here. I'm glad that you didn't send the hog in right after that. So it looks like you reverted back to zap, which in this case is going to maybe work out for you for a little bit.
It's a good tap.
All right. So right there.
That's an okay push.
It is an okay push, but he didn't have. I mean, he was still like, I think he was at five elixir or 6 elixir or something like that.
Yeah, it's still wait until
it's way too early to just be going, Leroy Jenkins every single play.
Yeah.
All right, so
you have all
this
games
is
to chip them out.
And now this is your go-to. You're seeing elite barbarians over here. This is your thought process right now. You're like, okay, cannon. No.
Yeah, right here, you gotta use the Ice Spirit and Ice Golem.
You can put your Ice Golem, your Ice Spirit even over here, and then you can go on ahead and put the Ice Golem right here as soon as it crosses right around here. So you want to have it just hovering, have it held in your finger, and as soon as they kind of cross the bridge over here. Now, that can be an issue sometimes, especially on this lane, depending upon the true blue and the true red or whatever. So you just to be on the safe side, if you don't want to make a mistake, you can put that Ice Golem right here, and then you're going to go ahead and put the Musketeer right here, and then you can put the Ice Spirit here if by any chance that they're not going to be able to clean it up. But with the Ice Golem, the Musketeer is going to be able to handle those pretty easily. So I would do these two combinations, Musketeer here, and then now your Hog's going to come back over here, and now you're going to have a counter push, or at least something over here, or you can just kind of let him roll and zap his Horde whenever that combo starts coming back in again. He's still going to have a lot to deal with, even with the freeze combination. I mean, essentially, whenever somebody freezes, you're just kind of throwing in everything you got. So
yeah, you got to defend. Freeze can be a tough thing to defend.
But you still have these little bad boys, and you can still cycle pretty fast around. Now, if you do get in that situation and you realize that those elite barbarians are going to take your tower and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it, sometimes just let it go. Just let it go. Let them take the tower and just go on ahead and send your hog push down over here instead of spending like waste, dropping a cannon right here and an ice spirit. Just spending all of your elixir trying to defend when it's going to be inevitable anyway that he's going to take a tower. So like right there, that's another case scenario where that tower's gone. There's no need to waste 4 elixir right here on that when you're still going to have to deal with this, and you're still in the game. The game's not over yet. You're still in this game very much so. So that kind of sucked right there that was involved. Get that zap in, hog. One more hit, please. Send that rocket in, dude. All right, he's going to be able to catch up. So still not all lost. Kane's using right. Doing some weird stuff there. You didn't need to do all that. Didn't need to drop the ice spirit on the princess. The 1 elixir skeletons is right there on that. If he has zap or anything else that that's going to get taken care of rather easy. So what I normally do on a cannon, and I have 1 elixir skeletons, if they do have a zap, they're going to zap that, and then they're going to try to get their hog through, and then you put the 1 elixir skeletons right here, and it affects the hog's pathing, so then it's able to stop the hog probably from even a hit, or can end the hog with 2 towers targeting him. So do you see anything else you'd like to add into that?
No, I think you just gotta wait on the skeletons a little bit, and then
oh god,
if you don't need the skeletons,
oh god,
that's an unfortunate timing.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
I think this is gonna be the game right here.
That's nothing. That's nothing he's gonna be able to do. There's still some mistakes that he could have cleaned up there, and it's kind of cool because you're making some of the mistakes over and over again. So these are some of the things that you're going to be able to clean up rather easy, and it's going to make a big difference in your game. So you're not trying to give up a tower every single time, but just knowing that your tower's gone, using your cannon placements or your defensive buildings a lot better. And just having an overall awareness of that, and just changing up some of the things that we kind of had to say. So Jordan, is there anything else? Is there anything else we need to kind of recap here, or any kind of tips that we could help him out with?
I think the biggest tip that I can give would be to just play a little bit more defense and use that musketeer and those cheap cards to really defend well on your side, and then turn it into a hog push instead of just trying to use hog as much as you can, even though it's not the right situation. If you play defense first, you're going to have more damage with the hog in the end. So that's just my big tip that I can give. So
the musketeers is one of the best, is your best defensive card in your almost in your entire deck. The musketeer is probably one of the best cards in the game. It's not the best card. I don't know if there is a best card in the game, obviously, besides a hog, or was. I don't know. but I love the musketeer. I mean, I've seen musketeers just stay alive forever, with just a sliver of health that had been fireballed. And there's a reason why people fireball the musketeer whenever they see it on the tower, because they know that it's a lot scary. It's a lot scarier of a musketeer being alive doing damage versus a princess. Even that. So I mean, these are still things that you need to address and everything else. But you gotta take care of that little lady a little bit better and everything else. So. All right, well, this is going to kind of conclude the session. Follow Jordan on Twitter. Follow me as well if you have not done that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to have 7 more of these. This was kind of my first one of kind of doing a training session and trying to give tips to help people out. If this whole thing goes really, really smooth and easy, then I'll probably do another one. I hope maybe it'll get some buzz, and maybe it's something that you guys can see that maybe that's in your game too. Highly recommend you looking over your losses. That's where you're going to learn the most, and maybe you're doing the same thing over and over again that that you can kind of correct. I've always said, play really, really slow, play defense, try to figure out their whole entire cards, and then try to figure out what your cards are going to do to be able to counter them. And that goes with any kind of deck. So these are just kind of really good and basic things. So just kind of chill out. And I know a lot of people see like these pros and everybody else like, oh man, it's so high as fast, and everybody's just dropping cards. No, it's really not what they're doing. That's typically when you can see as newer players just like dropping all their elixir on the bridge every single time. It's just it's a very new mistake, and that can be easily capitalized on by someone that has a little bit of patience and plays a little bit slow and plays solid defense and uses the counter method. So that's really what you're kind of going to do with this deck. And even though it seems like a cheap cycle deck and you want to just keep pumping at them, this deck is very defensive, and that's all you're trying to do is get the elixir advantage so you can outcycle your opponent. And even if there's like, say, a bowler, then you're able to outcycle the bowler. So, you take care of the bowler and you keep beating them in elixir, countering cheaper and cheaper, then, you could still even push that same lane, but you just kind of get him out of a rotation because your deck cycles a lot faster than most of the other opponent's decks do as well. So I highly recommend you putting in a fireball instead of the rocket for at least a little while. And then I would also use the log and kind of stick to one deck. I see that you're using a lot of decks. So I would definitely stick to one deck. I would just kind of stick to that deck for a little bit and just kind of get the feel of it. So I know that I saw earlier that you're using the bait deck as well. So anyway, but my whole point and hope of doing all of these is that people are going to improve, and I'm going to have a little bit invested with it since I've spent some of my quality time. Maybe Jordan will be as well. Like, hey man, did that guy get the 4,000 trophies, or where is he at? Like, oh man, next week.
Yeah,
like,
I'll be excited to see where he finishes.
So yeah, it's gonna be kind of cool, and not to mention it'd be kind of cool to see how they improve in the tournament. Maybe like he comes in and just destroys everybody with the hog cycle. I don't know. I feel like everybody's gonna be wanting the hog cycle on my channel. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out, guys. Thank you so much. Adios.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.